Well, you got cooties, you're sitting over here all by yourself.
What's that?
I said, well, you got cooties, you're sitting over here all by yourself.
Oh, I was just kind of reading. I didn't notice that camera was on.
So all the things you thought were going to be raffled tonight
Yeah, and are not.
are still sitting in my shop
Okay.
because of your absent-minded coordinator.
That's okay. We'll just push all that over. We'll just push it a month. Yeah. Yeah. No. All right. Welcome, everybody. Start off with get into the announcements. Little mistake in the newsletter, which really wasn't a mistake in the newsletter. Everything that we had in there that was supposed to be auctioned off tonight is being pushed till next month. Because it's sitting in the garage, not mine. But we do have a silent auction over here. Our new sponsor, Beaver Industrial, gave us spindle sanders, and so we're silent auctioning that off right there. Starting bid is $65. It's a $199 spindle sander, and it's really nice because I have one. First thing up on the list is Dan Linder on the Superstar Weekend, which is going to be March 7th and 8th.
All right, excited to announce Phil Morley is coming to St. Louis. He is a master of the craft. Phil has. All right, now can you?
Nope. No.
Now I'm on. Okay. All right, Phil has taught at the Mark Adams School of Woodworking. He's taught at the Florida School of Woodworking. He's co-founded the Austin School of Furniture Making, and he is on staff teaching at the Center of Furniture Craftsmanship in Maine. So, and recently, he's been invited into the New Hampshire Furniture Masters Association. So he has the credentials. He loves teaching, and he's going to be here in March. We'll have more details next month. So we'll talk about the price and sign up. But mark your calendars. I'm sure it'll be an exciting weekend for you to be with your woodworking friends.
All right, thank you. Back to announcements. All right. Jason has sent out the stuff for his the mentorship program, and he's working on getting everybody paired up. He says it's a little iffy, not iffy, but you got to match the people. You don't want somebody over in Illinois with somebody way out in St. Charles mentoring each other. So that's one of the struggles he's getting to get everybody matched up. But that's in the works, and he's doing a really good job on that. And I'd like to thank him for that. For the stuff that he's given us so far has been really good. Classes and presentations. Hey, Corey, you want to say anything? No?
Are we on?
Yep.
Okay, everybody. For the ones who don't know me, I'm Corey Donner. I'm your vice president, and I'll surely oversee all the classes. Currently, right now, at the moment, we have the basic fundamentals and the beginners already in place, along with what Dan Linder had just talked about with Phil Morley. I need ideas. Now, mind to tell you, I've heard some good ones for cabinet making, river tables, scroll sawing, but what I'm wanting to hear from you guys is take the time, put down any idea. Is it something that you really, really would like to see? I'm trying to focus on what you guys want. Yes, sir. I can do it. I got to find somebody to teach it. So I will actually make a notation. Joinery is 1. You, sir? I think I can probably get Quinn, and probably get somebody from Quinn to actually talk about it and actually do it. And handsaw. Okay, I've got some good ones already. Anybody else that has other ideas? Okay, we had somebody from Gorilla Glue, I know a couple years ago, was it, Brian? Okay. Maybe we can end up getting somebody else on that. Anybody else? You, sir. Okay, that is something else I need to research.
Yes. The Moxon Vice? Mike Stoll.
Okay, I'll get with Mike Stoll on it. Other than that, I am trying. Oh, yes, sir. I actually already have Mike Stoll that he's already agreed to do the hand plane sharpening on that. I'll see if by chance also too if he knows anything on chiseling. But like I said, any other ideas that you have, please feel free. Email me. The address is on the Guild's website. Don't think that your thought or your idea would actually not be used. I want to hear everybody's. Other than that, I'm going to try to give you guys a very full and well-rounded new year coming up in 2025. That's all I have, guys. Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next up was the Guild picnic from last weekend. Corey put that all together in a week and a half with help from Bill, David, and Todd. Those 3 pitched in, did a great job on getting it up, and from what I understand, I was on vacation, that it was the biggest attended event picnic that we've had in a long time. So thank you guys. I really appreciate your help. The art fair was 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I don't know, once it was right after the last meeting. And everybody that donated stuff, I like to thank them because we made over $1,800 in sales. We were constantly busy. Everybody was saying how wonderful our stuff looked and how nice it was, and so that was really good. And then let's see. Hey Bob, you still got hats and aprons? We still got hats and aprons. All right. And now we're going to talk about raffling. It was from the board meeting the other night. This is not me. This is from the board. We are going to limit the wins one person can do to once a night, just to make it more fair. We're getting more and more raffling items, and we wanted more and more people to win. So let me see. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was, I'm sorry, but I was at BIS today and didn't have enough time to bring water in. So we don't have water tonight. Didn't have time. And then Dave Gromfeld got a plaque from the Parks Department. A big thank you for the people that helped out.
No, I did not make it. For all of those who helped out at the summer camps, we had 3 summer camps, and we gave programs at Queenie Park for their summer camp, at Kennedy, and at North County. And I attended 2 of those. I did not go to the North County one. But this was presented to me by the Queenie group, and it's got the names of everybody who participated at that site. So all of you who helped out with that, thank you very much. It was very greatly appreciated.
All right. Thank you. Okay, well, I think that's all the announcements I've got. Up and coming classes. So the one that was supposed to be this weekend, the 22nd, we're moving that one. We don't know to when, right? Yes. Okay. But it's full. So the next safety class is coming up on 10/3. There's 10 spots left on that one. On 10-5, we have a class which is finishing with oil and shellac, and there's 5 spots left on that. And then on how to make and install string inlays, there are 9 spots left on that one. So all of those are coming up in the next month. So if you want to get in on them, get in them, because I think a couple of them are going to fill up fast. All right, do we have any new members and visitors tonight? All right, let's stand up and tell us about yourself.
Hey, thanks, everybody. My name is Bob Jones. I'm a retired Boeing mechanical engineer. I think my woodworking adventures started when I was probably a teenager or younger, building flying model airplanes. Kind of progressed from there to building things like bookshelves, and I built an entertainment center for a friend of mine, and I built a bed that we're still sleeping on, my wife and I. That kind of was early in my life, and then I got busy doing other stuff, and now my workroom is pretty much a storage room full of all sorts of things, but I'm wanting to get back to things. I've got some little projects that I need to do, so I was in Woodcraft one day several months ago now, saw the little info sheet on your organization, so thought I'd come see what you were all about, and really am impressed with the number of people here at a monthly meeting. It's really pretty encouraging. So that's my story. Looking forward to meeting a few of you. Forest Park is not far. I just live over near Olive and Lindbergh, so pretty convenient for me. So happy to be here.
All
Thank
right,
you.
welcome. Anybody else? Whoop, over here. Oh, while he's walking over there, the auction is going to go, the silent auction is going to go till 8:30. When it becomes 8:30, I'll holler and say auction's over. So,
Ray Whaley, stopped by, been a member years ago, but stopped by to see what was going on, and actually have a question too, if I get a chance to ask that later.
okay. Any others? Didn't see any others. Oh. Okay. Community outreach. I didn't see Steve. Is Steve here tonight? Oh, there he is, way back, hiding behind there. All right. How's the toy collection going tonight?
Tonight we have 470 new additions.
Wow.
But I took out of the toy shed about 250. So those are going to be distributed to the hospitals this week and next.
All right. Hey, look, everything's picking back up again.
It is.
That is good. All right. Christmas toy program. Yeah, I know it's the same picture as it was last month, but I liked it so much. And Wayne wasn't here to see it, so I put it back up there again this month. So Wayne's going on until Thanksgiving this year. Will be the toy program, so they're going to work up until then. Again, if you have any toys or anything for the Festival of Trees, they're going to need to be turned in next month at the meeting. And if you want to help Wayne out, he's there 2 Fridays a month, and he'll put you to work. So thanks, Wayne, for all your help doing that. That's been really good. Oh, tomorrow your meeting. All right. So if you want to help out, tomorrow. And Tom, You like, I changed the picture this month, Tom. I put one of your drawings.
I do
up
like
there.
that picture. That's our little sofa table. And let's see, everything's going really well with the program. We handed out, well, I've got the last 3 kits on the back of my truck. So if you are so inclined, please take one home. There's also a table leaf that's wide. Is Alan's here? Alan may take that one, but thanks to everybody that's contributed. We're up to about 270 tables.
Wow.
And yeah, it's been great, and the need is still there. So we do expect something from Home Sweet Home in the next week or so on their website, and it's something we can put on our website. But
Ooh, nice.
we'll wait until we see that.
Yeah.
So thanks, everybody. Anybody have any questions about the program? And I do want to point out the little table on the stage in front of the bucket. That is Hal Donovan's number 55. Well, 43 plus the 10, yeah. So that's table number 53 for Hal.
All right.
It's a beautiful table. If you're interested at all, take a look at it. That's Hal's version. The kit is very similar, slightly different. But yeah, it's a good program. So have any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, questions and answers. Last month there was questions on me about the toys that I was having trouble building because of the plans and everything else. And I said I was going to put the name of the place in the web page, but I was informed by many people not to let out publicly what the name of the company is. But if you want to know, just come and ask me. I don't want it to get out. I don't want to be sued. Oh, I wonder what I wrote that far. I have a thing that I wrote down here on the bottom of my piece of paper. I have no idea why I wrote it far. All right. So do we have any questions? Anybody with problems? Here we got one way over here again. Excuse me.
Yeah, wood expansion question. So this is for an outdoor project, 5 1/4 inch.
Can you
wide.
hold it closer to you?
Yeah, wood expansion question. So this is for an outdoor project. It's fir that is 5 1/4 wide. Can I glue that to plywood, or is that going to cause an expansion contraction issue? I would think like 3 is fine. I wasn't sure if 5 was getting to the point with fir that would be an issue. I was going to glue it with Tight Bond, if that, like Tight Bond 3 for an outdoor project. Maybe if that's problematic, I wouldn't want to, but maybe I could use like a PL glue that comes like in a caulk gun. So 5 1/4 should be okay. 3/4 inch wide is a 5 1/4.
If you run the glue down the center of the board and leaves the edges alone, it can expand and contract and not have any problem anyway.
I think I kind of went the whole thing bonded. That was, yeah, I get that. Totally makes sense. I was hoping to get full bond, but if
You can put an 1.5 2 inches down the center, and you won't have any. If you put like 1.5 to 2 inches of glue down the center of the board, then if you glue that down that way, first of all, it'll squeeze out a little bit so that you'll get a little wider than that, but that will allow for the edges to expand and contract.
So would 5 would be too wide then, is what you're saying, you think? Or who knows?
I don't think it's too wide, but I don't know for sure. But if
Okay.
you want to be careful with it, let it expand and contract a little bit.
Okay.
Is it a vertical or a horizontal surface, or both?
So I'm building a frame that I'm applying to plywood, and the frame is the fir, and it's riffs on.
So this is a frame you're building and you're gluing plywood horizontally? There's no weather, you're not gonna take any weather, or, for the most part?
So like this is my piece of plywood.
Uh-huh.
It's like a frame that's being applied to it to look like a frame and panel.
Okay, so this isn't, are you filling the panel in completely with the fir? Or you're not filling the panel in at all?
No, no,
Okay.
yeah, the
You should
fir,
be
the
all
fir
right.
is not gonna be filling the panel. The
Yeah,
ply,
you
the
should be
plywood
okay.
is the panel.
Yeah, you're not gonna see a whole lot of expansion and contraction, I wouldn't think.
Okay. Awesome, thank you. Oh.
Could you use screws through the frame into the plywood and then just drill oversized holes in the fir and use like a washer head screw? And then the screw would be able to, if it would want to move, it could move.
Sure. Is it on? Is it on? Okay. I've got a northern red oak tree that's over 80 years old. It's got the largest burl I've ever seen on a tree, and it's got a disease. I've had to deadwood the whole one side of it practically. I'm hoping to save the tree, but if I can't, does anyone know a sawmill that might be interested in it?
Yeah, Scott Wonder
Okay, if I could get his
of
information.
Wonder Woods.
All right, Scott Wonder, Wonderwoods.
Yep.
Thank you.
Here's a question.
Real simple, easy question. I was working with some dowels recently, and I'm finding that a lot of the dowels I bought, maple, cherry, walnut, hardwood dowels, I don't know if I'm buying something that's mismarked and they're actually metric or what, but they're so far under and so far over. Does anybody know a really good vendor for dowels that are going to be, when I want a ½ inch, I want a ½ inch?
I have tried, because a lot of the cars and stuff that I'm working on, I'm doweling with the airplanes and stuff, and you know I'm running into the same thing. I've had tried 4 different vendors now, and you know they say 1/8 inch is 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch is you drill an 1/8 inch hole and it doesn't fit. You know you got to go to the next. You have to go to the next size up, and I think they're marking that, but they're going metric. They're going metric. Because, you know, I put my mic on it and I flip over to metric and I went, oh, okay, you know. Yeah, but I think they're metric. But yeah, I've tried from 4 different places now, mail order, and then plus Woodcraft. And they're either too big or too little. I'm having to sand every one of them or drill oversized. But yeah, it's a problem. Yeah. Yeah.
This is a possible solution for the oversized.
That's 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. If you'd have pounded that in, it'd have split.
Yep.
You could build, just get you a piece of 1/4 inch plate and drill some holes that you know are 1/4 inch or whatever, and then jump up to the next size up. And I mean, you don't want to do 3 feet at a time, but for short pieces, you could point it a little bit, drive it through, and point another one, drive it through. I've done that plenty, and just remake them, make them what you want. If you're going to glue them in anyway, that little bit of rough.
That's right.
That
Yeah.
that edge is pretty sharp whenever you drive it through there.
Yep. Woo, good idea. Any other questions? All right. All right. We're getting more and more questions all the time. That's good. Next, show and tell. So if you got a thing over show and tell, come on up here and get mic'd up and grab an extra raffle ticket.
Gary was the first one. Where's Gary at?
You're up, Gary.
Yeah, big break here. Can't even operate the equipment.
Is the certificate here?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a couple benches here. From a distance, they probably look pretty much like this. This one was patterned after this one. This was a high school shop, freshman high school shop project made out of, I believe that was ash. There's a lot of problems with it. After working 40-some years as a carpenter and woodworker, this thing had a lot of problems with it. I don't remember what grade. I probably wouldn't admit it if I did, but a couple of misplaced holes. It's seen a lot of service at my mom's house in between dents and dings. Little kids just love that. She babysat. This thing was always occupied. So I was going to start teaching at a local Votex school, and they said, "Well, you got to come up with a project." And I remembered this, and I told my mom, I said, "Just give me 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z, and I'll figure it out." And this is what I came up with. But being a professional show-off, I didn't want to go with this plain, and I really didn't like the buttons, so I put flush plugs and redesigned it. And this is inlaid cherry. And anyway, and that is quarter sawn sycamore, which I always thought kind of looked like snake skin. I don't know. It's basically the same thing. I got a cove here and a round over here, but other than that, it's pretty much the same pattern. But this is 71, 72, somewhere in there, and this is about 2003. So that's what 30 years of, for anybody that's a beginner, wait it out long enough, it'll get better. This is already 20 years old too, and it's got a few dents and dings of itself because my daughter and now my grandson, they're denting and dinging it too. It's got anyway. That's the main thing. The main thing here is before and after. Don't be discouraged. Keep after it and keep your eyes open. You're going to see a lot of good stuff up here.
My show and tell is pretty simple. I wanted to emphasize that just because this is the Woodworkers Guild doesn't mean that what you make has to be made out of wood. I was inspired about a month and a half ago, and you'll know by what, but I was wondering, I wonder if I could do that with my CNC machine. And what I decided to make was the Olympic flag. And this is just, all this is acrylic. And I used my CNC machine to make the circles, and then I wondered if I could get the little rings to intersect properly and make the system, the software, do it. And what I was really curious about is I made one layout of the rings, and then in essence the CNC routed the inside for the white and then routed the outside, and I wondered if those two thicknesses would be identical so it would go in. And they did, first try. And so I was pleased to see that the overall accuracy of my system was really sharp. And so anyways, that's it.
Right.
I'm Wayne Humphrey. The last issue of Scroll Saw magazine had a number of Halloween patterns in it, and I got the urge to make the witch pattern. And so this is just a piece of segmentation and a little bit of intarsia, walnut on the top, poplar on the bottom, and just put it together for something different and fun to do.
I think it's my turn. I'm Sema Waxman. I took the fundamentals class with Bill and Phil and Bob. Here's my table. That's the shaker table from the class. And I thought I'd bring it here for you guys to see. It's my first table I've ever made. Second time only doing dovetails. First time was in the class too. But the first time doing mortise and tenons as well. So I think it turned out pretty well.
All right.
I'm in trouble. I'm always in trouble.
No, you're not in trouble. But you are the first. We've decided that people that take the class and finish the table are going to get a certificate of completion.
Oh.
Nice job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
I'm going to do it again.
Okay. I don't know if you can see this or not. My grandson, my youngest grandson's 3 years old. Okay, so my wife took a picture out of a website or something and said, "Can you build it for me?" So I did. Okay, it's a car carrier for Matchbox cars. It holds 42 different cars. Okay, I've tried a couple of different things on this. A while back, somebody was giving away veneer out here. Okay, so the sides are plywood that's been veneered. Okay, I used my CNC to carve the truck on the front and the wheels on the bottom. Okay, so those are all CNC carved. Then I took leather, black leather, and applied it for the tires. Okay, so the tires are black leather, as well as the bottoms of the tires are black leather. Okay, and I waxed them so they kind of look more like rubber. Okay, so it was a kind of a nice little thing to build. Okay, and by the way, this is a mahogany strip around the edging, just plywood, 1/8 inch plywood for the shelves, and a 1/4 inch on the back. Okay, so there it is.
So we all have a story. This story started last meeting. The last meeting I won one of the prizes up here. It was 4 board feet of bubinga. So you got to do something with it. In the meantime, I went to the Woodturners Convention in Texas. John was there as well. And there was a gentleman there selling cactus stems. So the top and the bottom are bubinga from the board I won, and the center is a skeleton of a cactus plant, and the finial is a copper rod. So just a cute little box, something that came together pretty easily.
You got me up? Okay. My wife is an avid knitter, and she uses a lot of circular needles, which, if you don't know, they tend to get together in a rat's nest. So I made her a whole series of little bags so that this is size 15. I didn't bring all the bags. They go from 1 to size 15. And then made her a walnut box, which is most of what I do. You can describe mostly as boxes. This one's one board all the way around, matched up So I probably defy you to find out where the joint is, because I tried to match the grain so that you can't tell where the joint is, which is one end of the board and which is the other. So that's one of the boxes that I'm most proud of. I brought another one that if you want to go joining, you can go up the shop, but that's sometimes a long trip for you. If you have a decent flat router table, this is an edge joiner. You just join one end flat. This is a piece of Teflon tape that's put on with a hole in. You can clamp this down over your router table, tweak it, which is a little bit of fun, but you can just run your board down and you get a nice straight edge. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Bill Brome, and I took the fundamentals woodworking class with Bill Schuckart and Phil Morton, and I learned a lot from them on tenon joints and dovetail joints and rabbet joints, and really enjoyed working with them and making this my first piece of furniture. Thank you.
All right. Now on to the fun. Raffle time. Jay. Nope. No.
Hello?
Yes.
Being a retired physician, I still get samples occasionally just sent to me of odd things that I don't really want or need. The latest one is a bunch of sinus rinse, which is basically sterile saline. Okay, so any of you who want any of these to take home, I would love to leave with none left. I'm going to be going to Colorado in a week or so, and if you go there, your nose gets dry real quick, so that's what it is. So they're free. So please come and grab one if you want one of that.
Oh, there's a talk going on in the corner. It's raffle time. Prizes are Wingay board, a bunch of saw-stop hats, a set of, this one is a dual miter block that you push up against the bench, and this one here is you push up against the vents and you put a board in there and you can plane or do what, you know. Kind of like a shooter board, yeah.
It's not a shooting board, though.
No.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
what?
Fence hook.
Bench hook.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, we got those two.
And that's
We
a
got
pair. Those
Heads.
come together.
What is?
We have 2 sheets of veneer. Now it's mahogany, African mahogany. Looks like it's in really good shape too, both of them.
And is this one too?
Yeah.
Oh, and a Home Depot bucket with this canvas thing on it.
A tool bucket. Expand your imagination. Okay, someone who didn't buy a ticket? Thank you, David. Let's see, 409052.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
That's the first three digits.
All right.
Okay. Yes, very good.
Oh, and we got 2 gift cards.
Oh yeah, and 2
Yeah.
gift cards. And 2 gift cards. These are reward cards,
Yeah.
by the way. They have a date of September 1st, so you got to use them before.
And the shirt goes with it.
And the shirt goes with. I'm not sure it'll. Oh yeah, and then you pick the next ticket, right? No, this was in my pocket. So that I get to keep. Thank you. I'm not going to say the first 3 digits anymore other than this time, 409012. 012. Very good. Trust but verify. Thank you. And you. And draw for me. Thank you. One, 2, 5. Oh, we have to worry about 8? I
Yes.
did not know that. Okay. Yeah, I guess you sold a lot of tickets. Yeah, like you said. No. 409125.
There we go.
We got a winner way back there. Thank you, Tom. What would you like? That is
Yes.
a reward card, yes. You may have one of those. $50 donated from Rockler. Thank you. And draw a number for us. A ticket. Then you draw another one. 409022.
Close.
Very good. We have a winner. All right. Zero 3-0. Wow. 409. I will read all the numbers. Thank you, John. Yes. Okay. Four 09097. You can't win every month, Vicki. Yes, thank you. All right. We have 3 caps left. You do not.
No.
409107. All righty. Thanks, Leo.
It keeps that hair from blowing around.
Hey, Vicky. 408962. All right. I worked really hard to get you this number read, and now.
No.
Hey, wait. You got 2 tickets there, ma'am. Okay.
409-069 have this lovely sauce up hat.
All right. We got one more hat, so we need one more drawing. We'll let Vicky pick it. I don't know.
God, 409-053. Nobody wants the hat?
409-053. All right, thank you all for coming. I'm not going to subject any more. Somebody could have pretended to have it, and we wouldn't even checked.
409-108.
All right, we have a winner. All right, there you go. Thank you all. We don't have to check it.
All right, now, we've all been waiting for this. Bill Shukai, how to hand rub finish. I'm not going far.
Has everybody put their elbow grease on? Not really. There we go. You can rub all types of finish: shellac, lacquer, varnish, poly, water-based coatings, catalyzed or conversion finishes. 3 reasons for doing so. First, it's nearly impossible to get a perfect finish no matter how carefully you apply it. Hard to get a finish to dry without picking up dust nibs. Rubbing lets you quickly remove any dust, surface and brush marks, or other sheen anomalies. It really enhances your finish. Second, rub. Now don't sign out my light here, boys. No, I need this one, Tom. Yes, I do. Thank you. A rub finish simply looks different than what comes off the brush or off the spray gun. Satin rub has an elegant look, and a well-buffed gloss not only presents a glossy, reflective surface, but a perfectly smooth one. The goal of a satin rub is to leave uniform scratches that are running parallel to the grain. The goal of a gloss rub is to have something that is perfectly flat, reflective, with no visible scratches. And third is a case of feel. Furniture isn't just looked at, it gets touched. And there is nothing that quite compares to the ultra smooth feel of a hand rub finish. Changing the sheen can be done in a couple ways. You can buy product that will give you a satin or a flat finish as well as a gloss finish. But you can also simply start with a gloss finish and then rub it out to get semi-gloss, satin, matte with the addition of a flattening agent. But flattening agents are tiny particles that make the coating a little bit cloudy looking. It's just as easy to use a gloss finish and then rub it out by hand to get the finish that you're looking for. For drying time, the longer that you let the finish cure, the easier it will be to rub it out. That goes for any sheen, but you can wait less time if you're going to a satin sheen rather than a gloss sheen. There are a lot of factors that affect drying time. The type of finish is one, the amount of time you leave between coats, the thickness of each coat, and the temperature and humidity, of course, where you're doing the finishing. 3 thin coats in one day, in one per day, drying time goes quickly. 3 coats in one day, or thicker coats, may take 9 or 10 times as long to cure. How long do you have to wait to rub? If you're applying only 1 thin coat per day with ideal drying conditions, you can usually rub in just a few days. When using water-based finishes, it's best to wait at least 2 weeks. For a gloss finish, I've never waited this long. Wait for 4 to 6 weeks, no matter what the finish. I never wanted to wait that long. Rubbing to satin. You start off sanding gently with 400 grit or finer, either self-lubricating paper to remove dust nibs or a little bit of orange peel before moving on to triple-aught steel wool. I don't use self-lubricating paper very much. I happen to like wet and dry paper. It lasts longer. But when you move to the steel wool, you need to remember that not all steel wool is created equal. Good steel wool will give you a more uniform rub down. Rubbing to satin, you start off, load a pad of steel wool with triple or quadruple aught steel wool with paste wax. There are a number of waxes out there. I happen to like Johnson's, but it's harder to get these days. The wax acts as a lubricant for the rubbing process and helps create a more consistent and better looking surface than dry steel wool. Rub with the grain. You'll regret it if you don't. Use long strokes. Refold the pad of steel wool periodically. Rub the ends first, going with the grain. That way you won't give the ends short shrift when you're working down the middle. Hold your hand flat so as not to rub through any sharp edges. Boy, I've never done that. And rub ends with short strokes parallel with the grain. Using long strokes and a good bit of pressure, rub in very straight lines from end to end, following the direction of the grain. Overlap your strokes. Work from side to side, from the top of the surface to the bottom and back again. That equals 1 pass. And it's recommended that you make 6 passes. Open and refold the pad to expose new surfaces as the first one dulls, and add more wax as needed. As soon as you're done rubbing, wipe off the wax aggressively with paper shop towels. Do this immediately and don't let the wax dry, or when you rub it off later, it'll buff and get shiny, and that isn't what you're looking for. Try as you might find that even though you wiped quickly and aggressively, you didn't get all the wax off. And the surface will smear. If you can leave a smudge by rubbing your thumb across the surface, you need to remove the excess wax. To do this, sprinkle a bit of cold water onto the surface, and it should bead up immediately. With a new, clean, quadruple-aught pad of steel wool, rub again carefully with the grain from end to end, but this time apply no pressure beyond the weight of your hand. When you get to the end, flip the pad over and go back for a second pass. The object is not to make new scratches, but merely to cut off the excess wax. Cold water helps congeal the wax, allowing the pad to remove the excess, which will collect on the steel wool. Wipe off the water and you're done. The above sequence shows the process for rubbing a tabletop to a uniform satin sheen. For semi-gloss, follow the same procedure, but replace the wax with an automotive rubbing or polishing compound. You may have to thin the paste on some of these compounds with an appropriate solvent. To rub vertical surfaces, simply rub with wax and the 4/0 steel wool in the direction of the grain and wipe off immediately. Because the vertical surface are not viewed from such a low angle, you can usually get away with a single pass and wipe down rather than more complicated process described for a tabletop. If you want to rub to a gloss, if you're into the piano making kind of thing, sand the cured gloss finish to make it absolutely flat. Start with 600 or 800 grit self-lubricating paper, or in my case, I'd use wet and dry, and continue through the grits to 1200 or finer. Use mineral spirits or soapy water as a lubricant if you use wet and dry paper. The better you sand, the less time you'll spend rubbing later. Dip a rag dampened with appropriate solvent into the rubbing compound and rub in circles. Wipe all the compound and take a new rag when you move from rubbing compound to a finer polishing compound. If you prefer traditional materials, use light oil mixed with pumice, which comes in various grits. I looked in the paint cabinet in our shop, and we've got 2 different grits of pumice there. after the finest pumice grit switched to rotten stone. Has anybody used rotten stone? It makes a mess. It's black. Anybody wants to try it, you can have this box. I'm never going to use it again. If nobody wants it, I'm going to put it in the shop. If you prefer a power application rather than your elbow grease, an electric buffer and polishing compounds that you can use on your car work just fine for wood finishes and make quick work for buffing a larger surface. I've done a fair amount with an electric buffer. Actually, I use a random orbit sander, a little Ryobi that I have that I'll put wet and dry paper on. And it's done a pretty good job for me. The last rub is done with a clean cloth and a buffing head. Should remove any rubbing residue, leaving a shiny gloss surface. Follow that with an application of automotive swirl mark remover to add an additional touch. Simply wipe it on and wipe it off. A good high gloss rub will reflect objects without distortion. The care you exercise and the intimacy with which it comes when you rub it by hand really can't be matched by doing it with a machine. I welcome you to give it a try. Questions? Bob?
Yeah, you mentioned Mike. Okay. You mentioned something about using a good steel wool. How do you know what's a good steel wool? Is it done by brand name, or how do you determine?
Probably a good one costs more.
Just by cost. What would you get that at?
I don't know.
Okay.
Try Highland Woodworking.
Okay.
Leveron brand, okay.
4.0 and 3.0.
Other questions? Thanks, guys.
Oh boy, we're done early tonight. Yeah.
Might be a ball game.
Come see me. I'll get your address.
Okay.
But it's not on. They turned it off.
It's on now.
It's on. Okay. Anyone not receiving the newsletter, see me.